Vanguard. All right, and we're in. There and move forward from there. Come on, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Come on in. Thank you all so much for joining. I'm not feeling well. I'm not at 100% today, but I got on here anyway. I got on anyway. And I'm not feeling at 100% today, but I needed to get on here today. Now, if you hear me coughing and whatever, just look over that and just know that I'm still trying to recuperate, heal continuously, day by day. But I just had to get on it this morning because I may not be on here next week. I got something to do next week. So I just needed to come on here today. Come on over. Let's get it. Let's get it. Come on. All right. Thank you guys so much. All right. Let us pray. Father, we thank you this morning for this day, God. We thank you for this opportunity to be able to worship you one more time, God, above the ground. God, we ask right now that I decrease as you increase, speaking through me. Holy Spirit, God. God, I pray right now that every weapon that is formed against me, that my health will not shall not prosper. I pray over my mind right now, God. I pray over my body. I pray over my soul right now, God. Lord, that you would bring mind, God, through whatever the sickness is, God, that it shall not take me out, God, that I shall overcome this sickness, God. And I speak life right now. I speak healing, blessings, God, and manifestation, God, under the power of the Holy Spirit, God, within. I ask right now, God, that you bless my wife and children and grandchildren, my mom and my siblings, God, and all my extended family members, my friends, God. I pray for Fernando Bailey and his family, God. I pray for all of my classmates, God, class of lady, God. I ask right now, Lord, that your will be done in all of our lives. I pray right now, God, for those who are watching and those who will be watching later, God. Lord, that something will be said and spoken, God, that will penetrate their hearts and their minds, God, for them to be able to move forward and do the things that you have called and ordained for them to do. I thank you right now, God, for continuing, God, to allow me to rise above every situation and every circumstance that tries to take me down, God. I thank you right now. Give your name all the glory and honor and praise due unto me, and let the words of my mouth and the meditation be acceptable in the sight of the Spirit Redeemer. And it is so in your name we pray this prayer without respect or doubt in all faith. Amen. Amen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you all so much for joining. Again, I'm not at 100% this morning, but I want to get on here for at least 30 minutes. At least 30 minutes to try to give you this word without me continuing to cough all over the place. But I'm here. Anyway, my sermon topic this morning is identifying the God within. Identifying the God within you. Identifying the God within you. Meaning that sometimes we don't identify with God because we don't understand God. To hear me clearly. Sometimes we don't understand God is because we can't identify. We can't identify with God because we don't understand God. The greatest thing that you can do in this life, and hear me clearly, the greatest thing that you can do in this life is learn who God is to you and within you. Learning his characteristics, learning his unfailing love, learning his unconditional love, learning his forgiveness, learning the wisdom and the power and understanding that he has. Once you learn the very characteristics of God, I'm going to tell you what will happen. The first thing that will happen is that you will start removing negative things, people, and places from your life. You will then remove negative things, people, and places from your life. What do I mean? Just like I said, you're going to have to learn. Everybody can't go where God is getting ready to take you. You're going to have to learn to be okay with other people not following you when you get ready to go to the next level. You're going to have to learn and understand everybody don't love you like they say they do verbally. You're going to have to learn and understand everybody doesn't have your best interests at heart. You're going to have to learn and understand the people that you grew up with are not the same people that's growing with you right now. You're going to have to learn to understand that sometimes family is not going to be there supporting you the way that you need or even want them to. You're going to have to learn to stand 10 toes down by yourself with the Spirit of God within you. And you're going to have to understand that everything that God has for you is for you. The devil in hell or his imps can't take it away. I don't know who I'm talking to, but listen and listen carefully. You have been down so long for other people that they are really holding you down if you don't see it. When you learn to release them and embrace you, that's when you will elevate to the level that God has for you. But sometimes God cannot deliver you from a place if you continue to vacation there on a regular basis. Sometimes God would not release his blessings upon you because he knows the vultures that are around you waiting to devour those very blessings that God has specifically for you. Sometimes God will hold up your blessing. He's not denying you. He is delaying your blessings because you can't see past the smile, past the words that people are telling you. You can't understand certain things because your heart is so pure and you want everybody to just be to look good in your eyes, and you want to give everybody the opportunity. And you want to say, well, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, and you want to do all of those things. Well, let me explain something to you. Let me let you in on the secret today, so you can understand. Those people are thinking about you. Those people are not there for you. Those people are only there for themselves. If you stop doing certain things for certain people, I guarantee you, their true identity will come forward. Their true motives will come forward. When you stop doing stuff for people, that's when you will find out who was real and who was just there for themselves. You will find out all of these things when you stop handing yourself out to people all the time. You will understand, and hear me clearly, you will understand that when God has his hands upon you, everybody else's hands got to get off. Y'all didn't catch that, did you? Listen. When God's hand is upon you, everybody else's hand has to be released from you. See, you can't serve God and then people. You have to serve God, and then people have to get in mind and understand that uh, your commitment and your dedication is to God. Good morning. And your commitment and dedication to God. When you start releasing people out of your life, I'm gonna get to my points in a minute, but I got to get this out. When you start releasing people from your life, that's when you will understand. That's when you will begin to see who's really there for you and who's really there for themselves. And then you need to ask yourself the ultimate question. When you're bringing people stuff all the time, what are they bringing you in return? And I know people say, well, just because you bless somebody, that don't mean that they are the ones to bless you. I have to disagree with you on that. If I'm doing something for you and you're never doing anything for me and you're not meeting me on the needs that I need to be met, you are a user, and that is a one-sided relationship, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a business ship or whatever it is, that ship can sail with me. If you can't help me, you will not harm me. Period. If you can't help me, you will not harm, because you know what? I will not give you the power nor the authority to do so. I will not. I will not, by no means whatsoever. And I think there's so many people trying to stay in these relationships with people, friendships and marriages and whatever, because they're so accustomed to being there for those people, and they just got used to it. then it got stagnant. But let me let you in on the secret. It's time for you to put yourself first. And I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody thinks. You have to put yourself first because nobody else is going to put you first but you. Put you first and everything and everybody else will fall in line. I said exactly what I said and I meant every word of it. Y'all got to stop putting people before you and then thinking that you're doing a good deed and you're the one coming with the short end of the stick all the time. Time out for that. That's coming from Dr. Nichols. All right, be blessed. All right, here we go. Identifying the God within you. Point number one, someone type this up for me. Acknowledge that we were created in the image of a divine creator. Let me say it again. Acknowledge that we were created in the image of a divine creator. One more time, someone type this up. And hear me clearly, someone type this up. In order for you to identify within you, the God within you, point number one is acknowledge that we were created in the image of a divine creator. Can you just imagine acknowledging that you were created in the image of a divine creator? In other words, the Almighty God, the only everlasting God, the one who loves us in spite of, the one who loves us because he created us with purpose and with him in mind. Can you only imagine to acknowledge that and to have that power and that authority? Can you imagine that you walk in holiness, that you walk in the authority, even when other people don't want you to walk in, that you walk in divine authority and protection, that you walk in the will of God? Can you imagine that you were designed for a purpose? Can you only imagine what God can do with you and through you once you just embrace him as your personal Lord and Savior? Once you embrace him, even in spite of everything that you've gone through, once you embrace him, he loves you from that point moving forward. He doesn't care about what you've done. People care about what you've done in your past. God doesn't care about anything. God can use you if you want to be used. Let me say it again. God can use you if you want to be used. Because sometimes people will use you and you get nothing out of it. Come on, somebody. I know I'm speaking to somebody. See, people will use you because they get something out of it. God will use you because he's trying to bring something out of you. Come on, somebody. Come on. Yes. Yes. Come on, somebody. Listen. God is using you because he's trying to bring something out of you. Other people use you because they're trying to get something out of you for them. Oh. See, God is bringing out his divine purpose, his divine order in you. And he's bringing it out of you through your obedience, through you doing what he called you to do. And stop listening to everybody. Everybody don't have your best interests at heart, and I cannot stress that enough. Everybody doesn't have your best interest at heart. No matter how much they say they love you, they try to act like they care about you. Sometimes people want to know if you okay to make sure that they are still gonna be all right. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Listen. Sometimes people just want to know if you're gonna be all right, so they can continue to be all right. Because they know if you ever leave this earth or them, they already know that everything will go spiraling down. They know this. We know this. Come on, people of God. We know this. We know this because we know what God has put in us. I don't know who I'm talking to besides myself. Come on, somebody. I don't know who else needs to hear this message, but I know that I need to. Listen, God is doing a new thing in you in this season. And guess what? Everybody cannot go with you, and everybody won't be with you. And you got to be okay with letting people go. You got to be okay in this season of letting people go. I'm continuing trying to elevate, not deflate. See, some people come in your life as a distraction to deflate you and to take you down with them. We can't keep doing that. We can't. We can't. Point number two, someone type this up. Prepare to shift your old mentality to explore our true nature. Prepare to shift your old mentality to explore our true nature. One more time. Prepare to shift your old mentality to explore our true nature. That simply means put away the old things, put away the childish things. That simply means, and I need you to hear me, that simply means that put on the mind of God. That simply means that get out of yourself and get into God. That simply means that when you tap into, you understand your purpose and the plans that God has for you. When you tap into, and I need y'all to hear me, when you tap into, that's when you will understand why you were designed in the first place, why God created you in the first place. But your mindset got to change. See, a lot of people mind don't change because of the old mentality. And that's what they're going to continue to do is get the old mentality. They're never going to get what God truly has for them because they are sitting there continuing to think about the past. It's like if you're in high school, people still want to judge you from the things that you did back then in high school and not understanding who you have become since high school. Some people still have that mentality. And what I do is I leave them back there. I'm no longer there. I'm no longer there. If you want to stay 30-some years back when I was in high school, yeah, you have to do it on your own. So it's a no for me. It's a strong no for me. It's a strong no for me. I've been out of school since 1990 in high school. You ain't look back on the things that I've done. And when I see people that still want to bring that up, I be like, oh, okay, so you talking to the old. When you get ready for the new me, come holler at me. I'll talk to you later. As a matter of fact, I won't talk to you until you're ready to talk to the new me. And then I keep moving. I keep moving. Just like that. And y'all scared to do stuff like that. Y'all scared to cut people off. I'm not. I'm like a pair of scissors. I would cut you off so quick it ain't even funny. Especially when I see that you don't mean me no good, and especially that I'm seeing and I'm watching you do evil deeds behind my back, and God is revealing it to me, and you think that I'm gonna sit here and act like I'm dumb and act like I'm naive. When I see you, I remove you mentally and emotionally and physically and all of those things. I love you, but from over there. I'll speak to you, but from over there. You need some food, come get it, go back over there. Everybody's not your assignment. Stop making them your assignment. Stop making people your assignment. See, that's what's wrong with people now. Everybody want to try to coddle people and try to, when they get upset, you, oh, okay, you can get upset with me all you want to because those who I counsel and those who I coach, I promise you, they will tell you, I don't care nothing about your emotional roller coasters when you come up in here. You're paying me for services, and I'm for service, and I promise you, you're gonna get every dime, and you're gonna get every dime owed to you in that session. I promise you that. When you leave up out of here, I promise you, you're gonna be a total different person. Even when I do Zoom boys as well, you're gonna get off that Zoom a whole different person every single time. I'm not here to play. I am here to pray. Okay, I'm not here to play with folks. I'm here to pray with folks, and I'm here to take people to the next level. You don't want to go to the next level? Don't call me. Don't call me. I'm just saying because a lot of people want to pretend that they won't help, but then give it to them. You be like, look, you be like, yeah, Paul, I can. Just inbox me. But you know, a lot of people they would tell you different things that they want, and then when you try to give them structure and guidance, then they get upset with you because you're telling them what they say that they wanted. See, those type of people, I don't deal with them too long. I don't deal with them too long because now you're wasting my time that I could be investing in someone else who's paying me for those services. Yeah, that's a no. So prepare to shift your old mentality to explore our true nature. Number 3, someone type this up. Embrace and cultivate God's love, compassion, forgiveness, and wisdom. Say it again. Say it again. Embrace and cultivate God's love, compassion, forgiveness, and wisdom. Embrace it. See, you're going to have to do something. When you want something, you're going to have to do something. You can't just pray and say, come by God. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. See, a lot of people will sit there and twiddle their thumbs and pray and say, I'm just waiting on the Lord. See, the Lord is waiting on you to make the moves that He's already given you. But you're afraid because of what people are thinking and because of what people are saying. Get with you some people that is going to encourage you, that is going to empower you, and that is definitely going to educate you to move forward. Okay, Daryl. But you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we can no longer sit and pretend like people really care about us when they know that when you know in your heart that they don't. Some people are only good with you when you're doing good things for them. Let me say it again real slow. Some people are only good to you when you are doing good things for them. But the moment you stop doing things for them, they get an attitude and try to gaslight and make it seem like it's you, that you are the problem. Let me tell you something about those type of people and what I've learned to do not deal with. And I don't care who it is. My silence speaks so loud now, I don't have to say a word. Because see, when I get silent on certain issues, especially when I'm very irritated because I know how to control my anger now. Now at one point I did. I would just go in and in and in and in and in. But I know how to control it now. So when I'm silent, when a person is irritating me, I'm like, listen, I want to end this conversation because I need to move forward and I don't want to discuss it. It is not that I'm trying to avoid the conversation, but for your safety and my freedom, it's best we cut the conversation. For your safety and my freedom. Because see, when you know you, nobody else can try to tell you about it. Okay? And when you know you can control you a little bit better. Because he who controls you, or he who angers you, controls you. So when you learn anger management techniques, which I do teach, when you learn those techniques, you learn to take the power back and stop giving it to people. Stop letting people trigger you, is what I'm trying to tell you. Point number 4, release limit beliefs that stops you from growing to the next level in life. Release limit beliefs that stops you, now listen, that stops you from growing to the next level in life. Release limit beliefs that stops you from growing to the next level in life. In other words, what people have said about you in your past, that's not true today. It was true then, but that's not true today. And you got to be smart about moving forward. You got to be smarter about moving forward. And you got to be purposeful in moving forward. You got to have a purpose in moving forward. You can't just all willy-nilly. No, it's not what we. It's not what we going to do. We're not going to sit here and pretend that we are going to do crazy things and get a good result. We can no longer be thinking like that. We can no longer think like that. So those limit thoughts, you got to get rid of that. Stop limiting yourself because of the beliefs of the past. See, the old things that passed away, now, behold, there are new creatures. There are new things that are happening now. And God is trying to show you new things, but yet you're still trying to stay in the old mentality. Let me explain something to you about the old mentality. The old mentality no longer works in the new personality that you have now. I need you to hear me clear. The old mentality no longer works in the new personality of where you are in this season of your life. And neither are other people that are in your lives as well. Sometimes the old people can't fit in the new era that God has taken you in. I don't know who I'm talking to, but listen, sometimes you have to really understand that when God is for you, who can be against you? And what God has for you, He can help develop it through you. If you let y'all got to stop letting people get in your head to a point where you're not hearing God. Y'all got to get out of religion and get into a relationship with God, is what I'm trying to say. Nice way. Get out of religion, get into spirituality where you can understand who God really is instead of understanding a set of rules of people telling you what you can and can't do, blah, blah, blah. But when you're walking into spirituality and not in religion, you understand so much more clearer on what God has for you. You understand so much clearer. I promise you that. So release the limit beliefs that stops you from growing to the next level in life. Point number 5, recognize growth and knowledge in God is an ongoing process. Listen carefully. Recognize growth and knowledge in God is an ongoing process. One more time. Recognize growth and knowledge in God is an ongoing process. In other words, it doesn't stop just because you say, oh, I'm going to accept the Lord today. No, that's your first step. But you have to continue to grow. Nothing is going to stop in your life when you accept God. Nothing. Everything is going to continue to go, but it's going to go in a different direction and it's going to work in your favor. Even when ugly things happen, listen, even when ugly things happen in your life, all things work for the good of those who love the Lord and that are the called according to his purpose. Excuse me. According to his purpose and his plans that he has for you. All things work for the good of those who love the Lord and that are the called. So when God is calling you, let me say this. When God called me to do what I'm doing, it wasn't a conference call, so I didn't need nobody else trying to tell me what direction God's telling me to go. If you come to confirm what God has spoken to me, praise the Lord. If you come telling me something foreign or what God didn't say, I'm not going to accept it. I don't care who you are. You can be the biggest preacher on the pulpit. I don't care. I'm a pastor also, but I'm a pastor here. I closed my building down because it wasn't about the building. I'm starting to build the people to become the building. That's what God wants. Just saying. Point number 6, the last point. Know that God was intentional when he created you. Know that God was intentional when he created you. Know that God was intentional when he created you, meaning that God knew what he was doing when he created you. God knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was going to do with you. He knows your beginning and your end. All you got to do is just walk in the authority of God. That's all you got to do. Walk in the authority of God. Walk in the will of God. And you will fulfill the plans and the purpose that God has for you. We can no longer live in the past and expect the present to flourish. We can no longer live in the past and expect the present to flourish. Sometimes you got to leave the past where it is in the past. If you can't embrace the now, you will never see your future. Stop embracing the past and start embracing the now. All right, Anchor. This is Dr. Nichols signing off. Be blessed, but never stressed. All right, that's Anchor. Now I'm back to you all. Now, I'm going to say this here and I'm going to go ahead and get on. God has blessed me to be in a position uh, in leadership. The leadership is not for the weak at heart. To be very honest with you, there's no shade to nobody. Leadership is not for those, and it's never been designed for those who continue to walk in their emotions when they're in leadership. See, you have leaders and you have followers. And just because you're a follower does not make you beneath the leader. That just means that you're looking at someone that you admire and that you respect, and you're looking at someone that can pour into you to make you a better person. I'm just saying, you have to understand leadership is not easy. It's not, especially when you're leading people and then some people try to come against you and try to say, well, oh, I can do this better than you. Maybe you can, but over there. Because over here, I'm in leadership over here. I'm not gonna let you come over here and take over and do what they take over the Jezebel spirit. And a Jezebel spirit can be a man or a woman, not just a woman. I don't know why they think that, but anyway, so that's the story. But I do need y'all to understand this here. And I need you to hear me clearly. God loves you in spite of whatever you have done. And God still is going to use you in spite of whatever you have done. See, God is not like man. See, man will only use you for that purpose. And I keep saying this here. See, God is going to use you because you were designed to be used by God for a greater cause, not in a selfish way. God is not trying to use you in a selfish way. God is trying to elevate you and take you to the next level of the things that He has for you. And it's okay to let people go. It's all right. And I know it hurts, but it hurts even more when you don't let people go and you sitting yourself and you're holding yourself back. Any person in your life that is holding you back is a distraction. And you have to identify that. And you got to be okay with it. You got to be okay with identifying that everybody just ain't for you. And you got to be okay. You got to be realistic too. And I need y'all to hear me clear on this. You got to be transparent and let people know, you know what? I love you, but I love me the most. And I see that you're more damaging than you are helping in my life. So it's a no for me. Moving forward, I'm going to take care of me. I'm going to do what God called me to do for me. See, when you put yourself first, and if someone ever gets mad by you putting yourself first, that's the person you need to kick out. And I don't care who it is. Literally, I don't care who it is. Yeah. Yep. I don't care who it is. I will let you go real quick in order to embrace me. Sometimes you got to let people go in order to embrace you. A lot of people don't get it. A lot of people don't get it. And it's all right. Either you get it now or you get it later. Either way, you're going to have to get it. Either way, you're going to have to get it. And you can't sit there and pretend that you don't know and don't understand what God is doing in this season. You can't. There's no way that you can keep doing it. There's no way. So in closing, I need you to hear me clearly. When you choose you, you never have to worry about other people choosing. When you choose you never have to worry about other people choosing you. When you put you first, you never have to ask or beg anybody to put you first because you're doing it yourself. You teach others how to treat you on how you treat you. Understand? You teach others how to treat you by how you treat you. See, I can't let people come in and destroy the very essence of what God has built and continuing to build because I'm not done yet and He's not finished with me yet. I'm growing daily. I'm putting aside things that no longer helps me. And if it's hindering me, I'm laying it aside. I'm laying aside every way, everything that is distracting me from moving forward. I am pushing it to the side. And guess what? I love, I love everything about me that God is doing. I love everything about me that God is transforming. I love everything about me that God is pulling out and replacing with better things. I love the mentality that God has given me now to love me in spite of, and to see people for who they are, and to identify the users, and to be able to just call them out without calling them out. Did y'all catch that? Listen, call them out without calling them out. In other words, I see you, I've identified you, and I'm going to move differently. I'm not going to have to call you out. My actions are going to speak so loud, you don't have to hear a word I have to say. You're not, you're not going to have to say, I'm not going to have to say one word if you're not even. Just saying, yep, I'm loving the new me, y'all. I really am really loving the new me. And I would not go back to the old me, no matter how much you try to make me go back there. I'll just leave you back there. Anybody who comes in my life and try to take me back somewhere, anybody who tries to come in my life right now and take me back, or try to take me back to a place that I asked God to deliver me from, it's a strong no for me. And I'm leaving you behind. I promise you that. I'm leaving you behind. I promise you that. Yeah, excuse me. I made it through this here live without me coughing as much as I was. The doctor decided to let me stay out, try to deal with my issue, gave me some medication so that I won't end up in the hospital for 6, 7, 8 days like I was 2 or 3 years ago. I thank God that I am healed. I'm speaking, believing, trusting, and doing my part that I am healed. You said, repeat what I said about choosing yourself. Uh, choosing yourself means that you don't have to worry about other people choosing. Putting yourself first means that you don't have to worry about other people putting you first. You teach people how to treat you or how you treat them. You're teaching people on how to treat you by how you treat them. If they can come in and call you and you so accessible all the time, it's not a good look. I've been stopped being accessible to people. And you know why I stopped? Good morning. Doing good. You know why I stopped doing those things, stop being accessible to people all the time? I'll tell you why. Because the simple fact they don't value anything. I need y'all to hear me real quick. I ain't trying to act cocky, and I just need y'all to hear me on this. When you too accessible to people, they don't value you. Sometimes you got to step back. That's why I stopped doing free stuff for folks or whatever. Because I run a business. I don't run a hobby. I run 2 businesses. I don't run a hobby. So when people come in for counseling, when people come in for life coaching, when people reach out to me wanting me to do life coaching with them, to pay them, of course, for life coaching with them, you know, on the internet. We're doing one-on-ones just like we're doing right here, but I'm doing one-on-one. That's who I pour into. But continuing to pour into other people and all they're doing is just sitting there using you and not really taking advantage of what you're teaching them and teaching them to do. And they're just constantly coming back for you to just solve problems all the time. They're not doing absolutely nothing at all that you've asked them to do, but yet they're still running to you for this. That's a waste of time. That's a waste of time. And you got to let people know that you're not about their life like that. Like seriously. You literally got to stop letting people use you. And I don't care who it is. Hey Dwayne, how are you? And I'm being honest, listen, y'all gotta stop letting people use y'all in the name of God also. Now I'm stepping on some toes now, and it's all good. But listen, when I hear people say, well, God told me to tell you to give me this and give me that, I say, God don't need to go through you when I talk to him every day. And I don't know what God you serving, but it ain't the one that will tell you to ask me to give you A, B, and C when I know that I don't have that to give you. Play this game at all. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and get off of identifying the God within you. Again, identifying the God within you. Those of you who weren't here earlier, I'm gonna just go run through these 6 points. These were 6 points, and I'm gonna give you, and then I promise you, I'm gonna go ahead and get off. I don't want to hold you too long and bore you, but I'm gonna give you these 6 points that I gave earlier. Those of you who are just joining, I just want to give them to you real quick. Okay. Point number one was acknowledge that we were created in the image of a divine creator. Acknowledge that we were created in the image of a divine creator. Point number two was prepare to shift your old mentality to explore our true nature. Again, prepare to shift your old mentality to explore our true nature. Point number three was embrace and cultivate God's love, compassion, forgiveness, and wisdom. Say it again. Embrace and cultivate God's love, compassion, forgiveness, and wisdom. Point number four was release limit beliefs that stops you from growing to the next level in life. Release limit beliefs that stops you from growing to the next level in life. Point number five, recognize growth and knowledge in God is an ongoing process. Again, recognize growth and knowledge in God is an ongoing process. In other words, you got to keep going every single day. You're going to learn something new dealing with God. And my last point was know that God was intentional when he created you. Know that God was intentional when he created you. So when God created you, he was intentional about doing it. He was intentional about doing it. I promise you, everything that you have gone through is going to work out in your favor. I promise you that. So everything that you've gone through, I need you to hear me clear. Everything that you have gone through, God was still in the picture. He says, I never leave you nor forsake you. And I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. So no matter what we go through, God would never leave us nor forsake us. But God has a way. God has a way of showing us that he definitely loves us in spite of what we do, because he has unconditional love. And he loves us enough to correct us too. Let me say that. He loves us enough to correct us and not let us stay in the same situation either. Okay? So with me saying that, hold on for a second. All right, Instagram. I am getting ready to log off. I see you guys not next Sunday because I won't be on live next Sunday. I may try to do something through the week, but I won't be live next Sunday because I have some things that I have to take care of. Some exciting news too, and I'll be able to share that with you guys when I come back. All right. Thank you for joining. Be blessed, but never stressed. All right. Now, all right. TikTok, thank you all so much for joining as well. If you follow me, I promise you, I'll follow you right back. Definitely will. Definitely will. And I appreciate you all for coming on. It really touches my heart to know that people actually do care about some of the things that I do say on these platforms. I mean, I don't take it for granted. I really don't. I really, really don't. So I just want you all to know that. And I love you guys. And I appreciate you guys so much for joining again. And I will talk with you all soon, real soon. And be blessed but never stressed. Dr. Nichols signing off. All right, over here. The last ones, Facebook and everybody on this end. Listen, thank you guys so much for joining. Anchor, we're not, well, Anchor was over here. Everybody that's on StreamYard over here, which is Facebook, um, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn. If I forgot someone, please forgive me. Anyway, I'm done. Be blessed but never stressed. Dr. Nichols signing off.